morning everyone, it's Carol at Collage Journals. Thanks for joining me today and lovely to have you back on my channel. So this morning, as you can see, I've got my pieces already here to do Margarete Miller's 2023 Collage Weekly Planner Challenge, and as you can see I've got the prompts here for assignment 24 for week 24. I've got my lightweight cardstock to work on and I've got my border just lightly drawn round in pencil. Somebody asked me the other day why I draw the border round. Well, that just gives me a frame to work inside. I rub out the pencil marks when I've done my collages, so no real reason other than that actually. So let's get on and go through the bits and bobs I've chosen for the prompts that we've got this week. Well, the first prompt is anything that blows in the wind. Well, I've got this Canadian stamp, and as you can see, I've got some leaves on it because leaves blow in the wind. Something written in your non-dominant hand. Well, I've got this little card here and I thought that I would write a number on here to indicate how much per dozen something is. So I'm going to have a go at doing that in a moment, and I am absolutely useless at writing with my non-dominant hand. It's something I've never practiced, so I will probably struggle, but I'm going to have a go and I'm going to do it in pencil so that I can rub it out and try and get a decent numeral on here. So I'm going to have a go at doing that in a moment. Something red. Well, I've lifted out this front portion of a letter card, and as you can see the writing on it is in red, the postage mark on it is in red, and so is this shield. The next one is a piece of a dictionary page. Well, I've got this tiny little dictionary page here and I thought I would use that, and I've also got one here from a vintage dictionary. I love the colour of this and I thought this will be used in its entirety as my background. I say in its entirety in that it won't be torn, but I may well trim down the border so that it fits inside my border here, and that's if I decide to use it. So that will be right at the end when I've done my collage, and then I will make my decision whether the collage looks too stark on the page or whether or not I want to use this. A picture from a magazine. So I've got this lovely little image there that I've just chopped out this morning from a magazine. I wasn't thinking when I chopped it out, and I've chopped away the white border along the top, but I don't think that will really matter. And there's a lovely image on the back there of a cruise liner of some sort, but that's the image I'm going with. And the bonus, a measurement. So I thought if I write a numeral on here, then that will become measuring what the price per dozen will be. But I also thought I could use this. Now this is a scale and it actually has a measurement on it, 1 to 1250. So I've got both of those to hit that prompt, that bonus prompt. And I've also got this little faux postcard which I've had on my desk from doing a previous project, and rather than waste it and have it floating around forever and a day, I thought I would try and find a place for it on my collage today. I'm going to straighten up this torn edge on here. That's my first job, so let's do that. Why I chose this, apart from it being a scale or a measurement, was I just love that little bit of detail on there. Obviously it's from an old property plan, and I thought that it would be nice to use it on my piece today. I'm hoping, sorry, I've just got a mark on there that I want to get rid of. I'm hoping that I don't lose these perforations. I'm going to use that way round. I'd like to line this up. So I'm wondering whether I can line that top line up with the top of my card there, or whether to, I think I'd like to bring it down and have it as a continuation of those perforation lines there, and by having it there I think it will draw attention to them. But I could make use of that and have that like that perhaps. Yeah, quite liking that. I need to write on that before I use it really, don't I? But let's just try offering that up first. Maybe have it just below that postage mark there. My red is looking one-sided on the left-hand side, so I might move that stamp in a minute. At the moment my eye is just going straight down to that red. tuck this behind. I'm thinking it might be nice to have the edge of that just down the edge of the writing on there. I'd like to cover up that red there. I'm thinking it's too much, so I'm wondering about bringing that over, maybe bring that down. I'd like to leave that word scale showing down there. I don't think I want it inside that line like that, or do I? That's quite nice, which means that that needs to come out a bit more. Yep, that's working for me. I have got detail up there, but it's looking very busy down here and not much up there. And I definitely don't want that up there anymore. I haven't got any red down this end, and my eye is going straight to that. All the detail, all the busyness seems to be happening on that side. So I'm wondering if I could use this at all. I think it looks better if the dictionary page comes out across it and breaks it up. So I'm liking the look of that. I am liking this for breaking up this area up here a little bit. So let's pop this in and see. I'm quite liking that arrangement actually, and I'm wondering, rather than using that up there, whether I pull it down in here to balance it off across that corner. I'm actually liking how this is looking at the moment. One or two little tweaks that I want to do with it. This is out too far, and perhaps this I want to move over to the left hand side. But I know that I want this image covering over this red here. So I'm just going to put a dab of glue just in this corner to hold it where I want it to go. I can still go in and glue the rest of it, but I know that I want it there. So I'm happy with that. I'm also happy with this scale in the back here where it is. I think I'm going to go to the edge and have that there, but I need to write on that. I'm wondering about turning it sideways like that and having the writing showing, and maybe pull it down so that it's halfway or it's centered along the top of that, and this little stamp there is just tucked behind here. So I'm thinking something like that for that one, and then the stamp either to have it that way horizontal, which would tie in with that one, or to have it turn round that way so that it's portrait. I actually like it that way better, so that it's framed by the black lines on the scale. So I think I'm going to go with that, and I'm going to go ahead and glue my stamp down at the bottom here, slightly set apart from this little area here, which matches that. And I like this one where it is here, like that. I need to write on here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that before I glue this in place. All right, fingers crossed, everybody. See how I get on with this. Oh gosh, so I've got to try and draw. I'm going to try and draw a 2. Do a 2p, I think. There we go. Not very straight at all. Gosh, what a wonky line. Well, it looks a bit like a 2. A very wonky 2. So I'm going to have another go at doing that. So I have decided I'm going to cheat a little bit on trying to write with my non-dominant hand. What I've done is I've drawn a 2p there with my right hand, which is my dominant hand. And what I'm going to try and do is trace over the top of it with my left hand and see if I can manage to do that. And for some reason I want to turn it round the wrong way. So I'm going to go with that. And I'm going to try and trace over the top. Gosh, it's incredibly difficult. I can't do a straight line at all. That's a little better than it was before. So now I'm going to try and do the bit across the bottom. For some reason it is easier for me to actually do it upside down, and I'm just going to go around that P like that. So I have managed to go over the top of it, not very neatly at all. Now, do I risk going over that with pen? I don't think so. I'm just going to leave it in pencil and go back to my collage. So where was I? I'm going to pop that one in there. I think that's where I had it before. And this like that, if I pull it down and out a little bit. So let me get some glue behind these pieces. Okay, so everything is glued down now, so this potentially could be my finished piece. I just have to decide whether or not I'm going to trim down this piece of vintage dictionary page and have that on there centered with the dictionary page as the background. It's looking a little bit too cluttered for me. I like the clean lines of the white behind this because my eye is then drawn down to the actual collage rather than fighting with all the busyness of this in the background to focus on that. But what I am going to do is I'm going to trim the page down to see if that makes any difference whatsoever. It probably won't. I'm going to try and balance up the space that I've got at the bottom roughly by eyeballing. Bring my page back in, pop that on there, and that would go on there. I would need to have it roughly about that. Now I like the look of this. I love all the neutral tones with the pop of red top and bottom. And I feel like I've got a nice little transition with that little stamp there. Picks up the browns here as well. Seeing that in place, I think I want to trim it down a little bit more. I want to get rid of this and this across the top. Maybe trim it closer under the number here and then trim it closer at the sides. So I'm going to do that and see what it looks like. I'm liking that a lot better now that it's trimmed down smaller. And I think it actually does frame the collage. Let me take it away and show you. So I've got that, and whilst my eye is being drawn into the collage, there's a lot of white space around it. By popping that on there and putting this centrally on it, it actually works to detract from some of the white and frame it. So I'm going to go with that. So here we go, everybody. This is my finished collage and I hope you enjoyed seeing it come together. I'm actually quite pleased with it this week. I love the neutral tones and the little pop of red that I've got going on it. Very quickly to go through the prompts, anything that blows in the wind. Well, I've got my Canadian stamp here with leaves on it, and leaves obviously blow in the wind. The second one was something written in your non-dominant hand. Well, I've got my 2p written in pencil there, and I did cheat a little bit, as you saw, but it's still writing with it, or it's still using my non-dominant hand. So I hope that's not cheating too much. Something in red, well, I've got my postage stamp up there, and also my leaves down here are red as well. A piece of a dictionary page, well, I've got this miniature dictionary page in the background here, but I've got my bigger piece as my overall background for my collage this week. Picture from a magazine. Well, I've got this lovely one here of this lovely building. That's my focal element. And finally, a measurement. Well, I've got my scale here, so that's my measurement of length, and I've also got my 2p per dozen card here, which is a measurement of price. So there we go, everybody. I'm rather pleased how this one came together nice and easily. I hope you enjoyed seeing it come together, and as always, I'll do a few pictures at the end for you to have a closer look, and I would really love it if you could join me next week for assignment 25. So until then, or until the next video, take care everybody, have a great week. Bye bye now.